Hi friends! Today I'm planning out May and setting up next week in my digital planner. I'm using the modular weekly planner from our sister shop Hops and Buddies. As usual, the first thing I do is add in events, appointments, and loose deadlines. Because my deadlines have the same look every month, I saved one from a previous month as an element in GoodNotes. It preserves the font, size, line spacing, and highlighted text. So I just add the deadline as an element and update the text to reflect the current project. And it saves me so much time. The most recently used or saved elements are saved in this quick access bar, so I'm using that to add deadlines. And I also find that Elements preserves text formatting more reliably than copy and pasting it from another page. When I copy and paste from another page, the font and size stay the same, but the line spacing often returns to the default setting, which makes it hard when I'm creating lists that have a different line spacing than the default. That doesn't really happen when I use Elements. So I have a collection saved just for the text formats, stickers, labels, and lists that I most commonly use. I'll show you how I do that in a bit. This month, I added a few more deadlines than normal. It's a little ambitious, but one of my goals for May is to make quicker, more efficient decisions. I find that I waste a lot of time overthinking, and it's impacting my ability to actually get work done. Planning definitely helps with that, but I normally get stuck in the weeds. It's the smaller decisions that really trip me out. So I included a couple of more deadlines to add a bit of tension to my schedule. I find that I focus more and decide faster with just a little bit of pressure. I'm not great under stress, so I'm definitely not trying to stress myself out, and I'm making sure to take time to rest so I don't burn out. I also won't be too upset if I don't hit all of the deadlines, but it'll be interesting to see if it helped at the end of the month when I reassess for June. As usual, I add in birthday dots and cute sticky notes for events that I'm really looking forward to. There are a couple of more events that I want to add, but we don't have set dates for those yet. Normally, I don't add too many stickers at the start of a month, but this month I'm really looking forward to spending time out in the garden, and I'm hoping to grow a bunch of veggies and herbs. So I created this cute little label sticker to capture some of that excitement. While I'm planning out my month, I also keep in mind what it'll likely look like by the end of the month, like April. This is what it looked like at the start of the month versus the end of the month. As the month goes on, I like to add photos and highlights for a bit of memory keeping / scrapbooking. And at the end of the month, I add a few quick notes about how the month went overall. I felt off for the most of April, and I'm not quite sure how to describe it. But looking back on the monthly favorites page really helped me appreciate that while many of the days felt like a struggle, there were a lot of fun times and so much good food. We got to eat homemade teriyaki, had a really fun dinner with good friends, stumbled across a surprisingly flavorful pre-made burrito, and lucked our way into creating a delicious pasta dish, which we may or may not be able to recreate because we didn't work from a recipe. These monthly pages are easily my favorite pages in the planner, and I can't wait to look back through them at the end of the year. And if you're wondering how I add pictures to my calendar that fit just right, here's a quick tutorial. I use the shape tool in GoodNotes to draw a rectangle in one of the days, and then I use these handles to make small adjustments to the rectangle size. Next, I use the lasso tool to remove the shape's border and drag it into pages while in split view. Here, I use the Pages Shape tool to create a box the same size as the rectangle from GoodNotes. It should snap to the same size as the rectangle from GoodNotes. Then tap on the paintbrush icon. Under the Style section, tap on Fill, then Image, then choose Photo, and select the picture you want to use from your photo library. Now drag it back into GoodNotes. Size it, and that's it! Once I finished planning my month, I decided to plan the next week too. The first thing I do is add the weekly spread as a favorite, so it's easy to access. And then I add it to the outline as this week so that it's titled on the favorites page. On the weekly spread, I always remove this gridded note section so I can add a widget and pictures. Speaking of, earlier I mentioned that I like to use elements to make planning quicker. Here's how to do it. Pick the image, text, pen, and/or highlighter marks you want to save. You can combine any of these to create one element. Here, I'm copying this side quest widget from a previous spread that I use every week to keep track of my personal to-do list. I added it to a blank page so I could remove the background box. I used the lasso tool to select the widget and text, then tapped on it and selected Add Element from the menu that appeared. Finally, I chose which collection to save it to. Now it's easy to find an element, so I can quickly add it to a page and move it into place. I use the same method to add my weekly habits too, because they don't often change. Every weekly spread has the same parts, so setting up is thankfully pretty fast. It took a few weeks of trial and error to figure out how I wanted to use this page, and I adjust when necessary, but this has been working really well for me. After adding the side quest list and habits, I like to add photos or images from the previous week. And I really believe when you like your planner's look, you're more likely to use it. So it's worth putting in a little effort to add a bit of design and character. Just don't spend too much time designing that you forget to actually complete your to-do list. I may or may not be speaking from experience. Then I add in events and appointments, set up the focus for Monday, write out my to-do lists, and add in my priorities for the week. I used to set focuses for each day before the week started, but now I go day by day unless there's a meeting or deadline that I can't avoid. It took time to plan out, and by midweek, my plans had almost always shifted. When I have super busy days, I also create daily spreads. If you want to see how I design those and link them throughout my planner, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can do one next month. The final touches are cute reminder stickers. This one is for laundry day, so I don't accidentally leave a load in the washer or dryer. And this one is a reminder to neem oil our indoor plants. We've been dealing with some plant pests recently, and I'm pretty sure they're thrips. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you found this video useful. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps this channel out. Until next time, bye!